Hello, this is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. This is the retro Duke action figure. We've had the original Duke action figure, which I reviewed way back when it was released in 2020 at Comic Book Bin. I'm going to be doing a comparison of the two figures. I resisted buying this new Duke because I was very satisfied with the first Duke. I didn't see the need to get a new Duke, but the price was good at GameStop, so I bought it. The figure is great. It's great looking. In my mind, they were going to be using most of Duke's build for Star Duster, and I was going to be fine with this. But then I caved in. I don't like buying doubles of action figures when they're not army builders. Like in my mind, I should only have one Firefly, one Destro, one Cobra Commander, one Duke, and one Scarlet. In the case of Scarlet, I've got 3 Scarlets in all, since I've got the movie Scarlet also, which was my stand-in for a while, because the first Scarlet really was not that great. I didn't want to get the new Scarlet, but I got her too. I'll review her in a different review. So this is Duke. I'm not regretting getting this Duke, but I guess my other Duke is going to become someone else very soon. Maybe Steeler. We ever get a tank from G.I. Joe or someone else. Does it really matter in my head canon that I've got 2 Dukes in my collection? Maybe, maybe not. It doesn't matter. It's still a great action figure, and we're going to be looking further right now about what is so special about this thing and why I caved in and bought it, even though I resisted. This is a 4th Duke action figure. The first 3 were based on this sculpt. This is the original Duke from 2020, from the first G.I. Joe Classified wave. For me, this is the figure that convinced me to start collecting Classified. I know this figure gets a lot of criticism. A lot of people don't like it, but I will say this figure is still great. People didn't like the knee pads and so on, the shin guards, even the red watch was not like. People thought it was too much based on that video game that came out and went. That was the only media, G.I. Joe media at the time, so it's understandable. The 2 other versions of Duke based on this figure were the one that was released just a few months later that kind of tried to course correct the figure, made it more subdued, colored the shin guards and the knee pads differently to not make them so visible, toned down the gold on the rifle and so on. That's what they try to do. The 3rd one was released with the Tiger Force Ram, but with different colors, different styling overall. I've always thought that this Duke was just right, perfect, but I guess I was in the minority group. Most people wanted a classic looking Duke that looked exactly like the 1980s, even though it kind of looks weird. And I still think that the original Duke did fare better. Now, having said that, I was not supposed to get this Duke, but I changed my mind. It was at the store and I saw that they were all getting sold out, so I guess I got FOMO, fear of missing out, and so I got this Duke. I was hoping that Star Duster would have the same build as Duke so that I could get that figure instead, but that's not what happened. I mean, I caved down. In any case, this original Duke can become someone else, someone we'll probably never see, someone like Steeler. So let's see if he would fit with that helmet, and that would be Steeler. Steeler did wear some kind of weird apparatus. It could be Steeler, or it could even be someone like Short Fuse. Yes, the helmet fits the original Duke quite well also. Even looks better with this helmet than the new Duke, I would say. You can see that in both figures, the same ideas have been repeated except for the extra helmet. Almost everything else is the same, which means that this version is really a retread of both the original Duke action figure from the 1980s, which was, to say the least, uninspired, and the Classified, the first Classified Duke. Both have almost the same colors, obviously different. I like the vibrancy of the original Classified Duke better. This is a bit too toned down, too grayish. The backpack for both figures are exactly the same. It's the same backpack, as you can see, which means that when things are well done, they're just well done. They both come with a handgun on the side. He doesn't come with a knife. There's no knife on him, but he comes with a special type of binoculars that he puts on his belt here. The belt here, same one, except there's a grenade here, versus he has a Joe Pro. He has the binoculars, which are more classic than this one, which is more modern. Unfortunately, I think it's a downgrade when the belt here is molded directly on the figure as opposed to something that would be detachable, just like this one. So I prefer this belt, which was detachable, could move up and down. You could see this is the regular pants. There's a regular belt here, but fully sculpted everything with trinkets and stuff, just like a Batman utility belt, as opposed to this Duke over there, which is more like subdued. There's nothing on him. It's pretty simple. I think we got more out of this one, but that's not what the fans wanted. The fans wanted this guy. He's a bit more athletic, if you see. His waist is thinner, which gives his shoulder more width, makes him look more heroic in a sense. His skin tone is even paler, and his hair color is definitely paler than the original Duke. Not the same blonde. He's dirty. This one is classic. He comes with more weapons. So the regular Joe laser type of rifle, which cannot be stored anywhere on him, fortunately. Regular handgun, which is more realistic than other ones that we've seen before. A knife. This is one feature, or the only feature I would say that was missing from the old one. I don't think we needed two weapons for him, especially since he can't store them. That's a kind of weapon if you have like some kind of corridor or gallery or weapon display. That's where you would put those extra weapons. Right now, he's carrying it, but he really doesn't need two rifles on the battleground. Like, it's not even something he could maneuver. He's got this weapon here. You can remove the ammo. This was not the case with the old Duke figure. Back then, you couldn't remove the ammos, and there was no peg hole for the fire effects. It was more like a laser type of thing. I will say that the weapons of this Duke are a bit better, more realistic. If you change his weapons, I think this guy is just perfect. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the original Duke. Still, I'm still not convinced that he was a better figure. He was a worse figure than the new one. I will say that the original classified Duke looked much younger, so didn't really feel like he was the guy that could lead the Joe team on the battleground. This Duke here looks a bit older, so he fits the bill a bit more. Well, in terms of articulation, everything is smooth on him. He won't have any problems bending his knees or arms. I didn't have to give him a bath. It's pretty solid. Can twist the shins. I think Hasbro really worked really hard on making sure this figure was perfect, that it had no defect. Even the weapons don't seem as crooked as usually. The bandolier and the backpack stay on quite enough. Well enough, I would say. It's not a problem. I think it's a good Duke. I still prefer the original Duke, but this is definitely Duke. So this guy, the first Duke, will become someone else in my collection as opposed to a Duke. And that's okay. That's action figure collecting for you. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. Like and subscribe.